afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland, off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Crossroads. Between the south, we got Siddolio fighting for America, freedom, democracy, taking on the role here of the 1st Armored Division. For America, Siddolio, a man who after the fateful battle at Catherine Pass, some say never quite returned the same, having seen his men cut apart by German fire. North facing off against him will be Manuel Ferreira, though technically this is Prodigy, fighting for Germany, Deutschland, Das Reich. Rolling out here with the 2nd Panzerdivision. Prodigy, a veteran of World War I, fought at the Battle of Tannenberg and was fatally wounded after the battle after he accidentally stepped on one of his own landmines. Taking on here Siddolio. So we got Grenadiers, MD-42 Pioneers versus Riflemen and Double Rearslams. He didn't lose his leg, though he was close to losing it. So we can see Siddolio here spreading out aggressively with the Rearslams like to seize more territory in the early game, and since he does have a rifle company, that's also up for some flamethrowers being sort of handed out in larger quantities there. As for Prodigy here, there's less of an indication so far. It's just moving westwards, laying down sandbags here to help protect his points, wiring off. Grenadiers move towards it as well. The way he's doing in this case, I think it's just done to make it easy to just wire off the cover. If it's going to wire it anyway, so figures might as well just, make it easy for myself. Rifle push for the western fuel pump. They're straight to them before and the rifle. And there we go. Siddolio here doesn't waste a second. He just retreats rather than finding this engagement, which he's quite aware of. It's not going to do any good for him. I mean, most of his other forces are on the east, and he could technically tie down Prodigy for a bit, but the problem is if he loses too much, they're not really, I think, gaining much. So I think right there, Siddolio made the right call there versus Prodigy. Prodigy moving it ahead, they're going to secure the point here. Probably set the machine gun in at the same time. It seems like he's bringing the machine gun up very aggressively. Might be worried that Siddolio's going to push up there, but also just pressure him right outside his base. And the thing is, most players tend to react a bit funny if you sort of take points right next to the base. So there's a part here that Prodigy's hoping he might bait Siddolio to run out on the base to counter-attack him, which gives his wise position machine gun like it is. He's like right, I think, at the outskirts here where the point connects his C. So Siddolio won't necessarily know what's grabbing the point. So I think in this case, Prodigy is basically hoping to bait a rifle squad to run into it. But in this case, Siddolio, either aware or not carrying, does not do so. 3rd Grenadier squad there for Prodigy, with a 3rd rifle squad there for Siddolio, and he does go for a rifle company. And there we go, we got flamethrowers with the Rearslams, increasing their firepower here versus the Germans, of course, making them a lot more lethal. Also going to make it harder here for Prodigy to use heavy cover. All the structures around the centre. Certainly, I think, a very strong tactical and strategic choice. Here, the Rearslams are biting up the Grenadiers. In this case, I mean, he's keeping a lot much manpower occupied with the smaller here. Not bad, not bad. In theory, there we go, flank in with flamethrower building Rearslams. In this case, 2 Grenadier squads put a stop to that plan. Instead, pops in the nearby house. Doesn't quite have the range to engage with flamethrowers, trying to further flank in. And there you go. It's going to get some damage in the MD-42. There we go. Flamethrowers get a bonus versus units in heavy cover. So the flamethrower is going to be quite effective and could very well force Prodigy to retreat his MD-42. But in this case, all they're going to do is just barreling in, force retreat there from the Rearslams. Just in time there to save the machine gun. In the west, we've got rifle squad pushing up there. There's a to grab territory here in the centre. He just keeps occupying all of this, slowly trying to bleed it out here. And there you go. The MD-42 is finally forced away. And he connects now with the rifle and rush the Grenadiers there in the heavy cover as he Prodigy now instead switches attention to the eastern fuel point, realising, well, he's figuring that all of this is actually quite open. So rather than just trying to keep fighting here, which is just going to drain up manpower without getting too much, instead wants to just opt for more immediate gains, which I think is a very prudent choice there by Prodigy. Like to make a nice company going up here in the western fuel point there with the rifle squad. I'm imagining at this point Siddolio will be continuing taking up, and there you go, got the lieutenant, the platoon command post. Grabbing the fuel point there. Grenadiers moving up here with the Rearslams. He can go for light machine gun fire now. An LMG-42 to offer up some firepower there versus the Allies. Rifle going the western fuel point there. Pioneers sneaking about. MD-42 from the north. Bit of shooting there, and like to make a nice company. Could go for a half tech, could go for 2-2, could go for Panzer Grenadiers. There's several options here for Prodigy. In this case, he does opt here for the 2-2-2 to support his men of the 2nd Panzer Division. In the meanwhile, though, western fuel point there cut up by Siddolio. No real threat here from Prodigy. On the other hand, gets the eastern fuel point and connects it. Though rather tenuously, actually. Yeah, it is connected, though. Again, I think it's just this little strip here of territory where it's connected through the now with this it's basically connecting more, but it basically is sort of right there. That was a bit of a small connection. 2-2 out there for Prodigy. Siddolio following up with an anti-aircraft half-track rather than pushing ahead here, and there you go, connecting the western fuel point for America. Flamethrowers up for Prodigy's Pioneers. No mortars from either side. We got the lieutenant, of course, moving eastwards, going to try and contest there, maybe fight or just harass. And then we got the 2-2 rolling out there with its autocannon cracked from machine gun rather than being flanked by it. The 2-2 was actually a pre-war design based on a civilian car design, actually, but would later, I think, sort of around the late war, be phased out, where they would basically have it replaced by the 250 half-track, which would be taken away from, well, half-track duties, and instead shifted to an armoured car that was half-tracked. As it turned out, the 2-2 was not very good off-road, which for reconnaissance vehicles isn't particularly good. So it's basically shifted out in favour of large armoured cars with more wheels, which perform better, or half-track ones like the 250 half-track Model C. Little fun fact, the Raffinet being outmaneuvered here with the 222, just drives around hammering over the cracks machine gun and autocannon, but there you go. Got the anti-aircraft moving, there you go. He's rushing it, he's going to try and get in front of it, popping smoke here by the time. Of course, the half-track there is reasonably good at sort of staying out of fire, and there we go. Bit of attack around there, takes out the 222, costing Prodigy here his armoured car, forcing him to follow up with a Pack 40, and we got a doctoral choice here from Prodigy. It is elite troops opening up for G43s and stormtroopers. Concussive grenades as well. Pack 40 halfway down there for Prodigy and the German army. As it finds itself beleaguered on several sides here by Siddolio's aggressive rapid attacks. Siddolio now control the fuel points, but not all of them are easily connected there. And Prodigy here, I think this is going to fall back from now towards his machine gun, trying to stall by time for the Pack 40 to arrive. That's going to take some time, and even then it's going to take time to get to the front line. Concussive grenade in the south, pushing back the lieutenant. Good work there. We got Reason moving in there. Flame for a time cut with the flank, with info just going to have to fall back here. Otherwise, Prodigy will suffer a stinging loss there, and it's going to be close. It's going to be very close, incredibly close, but he does manage to get the machine gun out of there. So nice attack there by Siddolio. And the MD-42 got up on the retreat. This is pretty bad. This is in fact incredibly bad there for Prodigy. We got Raffinet off here to try and stop the rifle from making off with German army property, but Siddolio nonetheless managed to succeed it. Well, his men does. It's obviously not Siddolio himself running about grabbing, and there you go. Another concussive grenade here from Prodigy. Raffinet repulsed as well. And we actually got light anti-tank mines being laid down here by Siddolio. A very interesting choice here. Possibly worried about Prodigy following up with tanks, who just want to prepare ahead of time. Although obviously the mine itself doesn't do a lot of damage, but just being able to slow down a tank at the right time can have quite beneficial properties. So they should retreat right there, because he's kind of giving away the position. Alright guys, just wait here. They're not going to suspect us looking at the same point like this. Are you sure, Sarge? Yeah, I mean, we're Americans. We do this all the time, right? Football stuff. But it's not even a football we're playing this. Shut up, Carl. Shut up. Ambulance on the way there for Siddolio to support his troops. Lieutenant moving ahead here. Pack 40 moving in. In the west, they're heading for the Coh2. It's good work. And we got the 50 caliber setting up there. So we got 2 machine guns now here for Siddolio. 1 American, 1 German. And Prodigy is being denied fuel effectively here. We got take up though for Prodigy. Not allowing himself to be overtaken there by Siddolio. He is also going for another MD-42 to replace the one lost to the Yankees. Troops healing, reinforcing. We got weapon match for Siddolio, opening up for BARs and bazookas if he does feel threatened by crap armor. And there you go, flanking the 50 caliber of the Pioneers, flying over there, unleashing them. Burn some all, Otto! Burn some all! I want to smell roast Yankee. Are you alright, Fritz? Nein, I'm not. There's something about there. Up here, bunker up for Prodigy. MD-42 almost done. And there you go, BARs galore for Siddolio and the 1st Armored Division. Technically, any American squad, which was by the way 12 men, would have had 1 BAR, which was operating a separate light machine gun team. As a fun fact, though, they might have, independently sought means to acquire more automatic weapons, that way boost their own firepower. But sort of, on a paper level, they were only supposed to have, 1 BAR patrol men. 71 regular grenadier escort would have only light machine gun per 10 men, and a panzer grenadier escort would have 2 light machine gun per 10 men, unless they're equipped with assault rifles. In which case things got a bit more complicated, since assault rifle platoons were a bit differently organised, and still had some light machine guns. Specifically, there'd be like, 2 squads with assault rifles, then there'd be 1 with light machine guns, and rifles would act as a sort of fire base squad for the rest of the platoon. Fun fact there, Grenadiers here reinforcing, so Paul McCrop there for Prodigy. He might have to rush out a StuG kit. He could also chance out for a Panzer von Ostwind. Grenadiers flanking in the LMG-42. A few losses being inflicted as they fix up the half track. And there you go, Grenadiers just being overwhelmed. We got concussed grenades off. They didn't make much of an impact there against Siddolio's men. And Sir Paul McCall was down there for Prodigy. We got rifle grenade off here. Pack 40 also firing as well. Pushing up the centre of the support by the ME42. Prodigy's ME42 once more. Bit exposed position. Could risk losing it. He should probably just retreat it faster this time around. And this time around, Prodigy does seem to have learned a lesson and just hits the retreat. Meanwhile there, Siddolio sweeps forwards. Grenadiers, Pioneers moving in. We got more T-43s there for Prodigy. We got Lieutenant of Fire here. We got the Pioneers down. The Grenadiers being met with swift American retribution here from the anti-aircraft half track. I certainly suspect here Prodigy's going to have to go for a StuG kit to counter the anti-aircraft half track, since the Pack 40 does struggle in catching up with it. And that was one of the things the Germans sort of realised. It was actually really difficult to get the anti-tank guns where they wanted to. Then once things got mobile, and they rather realised they preferred assault guns with tank destroyers. Of course, they couldn't get enough of those. But they couldn't get enough prime movers, stuff, like tractors and whatnot, to move their anti-tank guns around anyways. So some fun facts there. Hitting the fuel point again, this Siddolio is indeed displaying good aggressive harassment, and StuG is available now here for Prodigy. Fighting for the West team, there you go. Successfully swinging Siddolio back. Siddolio, imagine, there you go, is taking up for America, freedom and democracy. Prodigy could go for StuG, could also aim for the Ostwind. In fact, he's going to be ahead in terms of fuel for a bit, and there you go, does go for the StuG. Rifle grenade off. Does some light damage. Going to be taking hits for the hedgerows from the anti-aircraft half tank, and got the 5th Cavalry and the Pioneers. Certainly a pretty precarious situation there for Prodigy. Very precarious. He's going to really have to hope that StuG does a lot of good for him. He's also have to upgrade machine gun just to increase his anti-infantry. There you go, Grenadiers out in the open. Rifle with BARs and the anti-aircraft just unleashing hell. And the Pack 40 setting up, but unable to do much. Troops are reinforcing, healing. StuG almost done. And here in the east, Grenadiers with G43s was the Lieutenant. And yes, he's upgraded with WBRs. Very good move. Not a lot of American players actually, realised they can upgrade their Lieutenant with another weapon, but Siddolio is clearly one of the elite, one of the ones who, knows. Given secret knowledge from the founding fathers of America. Somehow. They knew it. And they wrote it in a secret code in the Constitution, which Siddolio was able to read. Go double BARs on the Lieutenant. We got the StuG moving out here, no pin up machine gun. Still going to provide Prodigy here and the 2nd Panzer Division with some firepower for the fatherland. First getting shot out a bit. There we go, half-track's going to get surprised. My god! That's a Panzer! No, it's a Sturmgeschütz. A what? I don't know, but yar, we're dead. Major standing about here, rifle pushing up the rear to supporting the east side, repulsing what little troops Prodigy's got. It's got plenty of manpower, could consider some Panzers. Oh, stormtroopers! Wunderbar, in this case, infiltrating up behind the house here, landing behind some of Siddolio's forces. Could surprise with a few well-placed shots. He could also go for the assault rifles there. Also big push in the west as you grab the fuel pump. Pack 40 used to seize territory here. Grenadiers reinforcing, and there you go, Grenadiers push back here as well. Some aggressive movements going on in there. Goes StuG flying away. Still no machine gun for the StuG. Kind of machine gun Gewehr. And we got the 5th Cavalry moving up. But there you go. Siddolio seems a bit more confident now. With the anti-aircraft half deck down this list, they can so just immediately stall his infantry. And that does benefit Prodigy a bit. And there you go, sending stormtroopers down for the cutoff point. Still no assault rifles though. You should definitely think prioritize assault rifles since the stormtroopers really benefit from that, and particularly if they can also use tactical advance pretty well. That is a very solid sort of thing to do. Gonna just bring in here with light machine guns and G for the fleece, catching the machine gun crew out in the open. Gotta push Storms to the retreating still. Pioneers moving up. Keeps, there we go, retreating the machine gun in the end. I was starting to wonder when Siddolio's going to do that. And there you go, StuG lands good here on the infantry. Still a machine gun though being added. He's quickly getting worried about tanks and just pops it up. Not entirely sure how many resources Siddolio has, but Siddolio can only first now go for a tank. So in this case, Prodigy's being overly cautious, but it certainly doesn't hurt to be precaution. He could risk at some point, being wrong for it, and then StuG isn't ready because he just fired a shot at some guy named Klaus from Minnesota. StuG setting out there, Lieutenant hanging about on the open. We got his Sherman easy on the way there for Siddolio. And there you go, concussion grenades. Oh, so men there stunned by the sudden appearance of that inside. And there goes Swap Officer here for Prodigy Stormtroopers. Wunderbar. I think just had some machine guns in the StuG. That would certainly help out there. Meanwhile, though, Siddolio strikes again for the West Fuel. Though he could send in some force to help counterattack and deal with that. But so far, Prodigy's forces are a bit static in that realm. I also got the Pack 40 all the way up there. They can soon go for another StuG, and that's going to make it harder there for Siddolio to use his tank, his EC8. And go assault rifles up for the Stormtroopers. Hardened men of the 2nd Panzer Division. Men who have seen many things. Rifleman, Lieutenant, racing teams moving ahead, machine gun supporting. Got a 2nd Pack 40. He's actually pretty close to the StuG, but clearly Prodigy's worried about armoured rushes unless he wants prepared. He's also hiding here. Though he might be making it a bit obvious since there's not really a lot of other places for his troops to hide. So there's a chance here and he just gets shot and attack rounded, losing his Stormtroopers. So a bit risky there by Prodigy. Also needs to be paying attention. But right here, there's a good chance. There you go. Attacks advance. Lieutenant moves straight into it. There you go. Meet retreat. Bob falls dead. Apparently his canteen also got shot to bits as all of a sudden a lot of water poured out. Storms are down to half health, caught the attack to advance, makes the muted hit, but there goes Sherman also shooting, but actually not hitting at all. Just hope it doesn't have 50 cover. We got the StuG moving over here in the west counter attack going on. Small for Prodigy to reclaim the field there. Then he's being pushed back. Pioneers moving up. StuG shoots. Veterans 1 and EC8 damaged. Siddolio just falls back here rather than just trying to do anything against the StuG. 2nd machine gun there for Prodigy to help control some of all of Siddolio's infantry. Not bad, not bad. Need to shift more forces westwards to help defend that. And meanwhile, other troops are healing and reinforcing. StuG going back, and he's still not going for machine gun gewehr there on it. Keine Maschinengewehr. Could go for another StuG here. He could also aim for an Osman. He cancelled that to the 2nd Pack 40, so he's going to need, I think, a 2nd StuG. Otherwise, if he had the 2nd Pack 40, he could consider an Osman or try and setting up for a Panzer IV. Big push into the east again here from Prodigy. He really wants to hurt Siddolio's eastern fuel, which does mean the western one a bit more open. And Prodigy, they're going for a 2nd Sturmgeschütz. Showing about noting that the Siddolio is yet to let repair, so there's a theoretical chance he gets caught on foot. He could get Panzer pass and made an easier target for the StuG and the Pack 40, which could then quickly do a lot of damage. Troops are being suppressed, but there you go. Anti-tank team revealed itself out in the open. Only 1 bazooka as well there. StuG pulling head here for the Sherman, almost got it there. But the anti-tank mine, which Siddolio laid down many minutes ago, proved successful, preventing the StuG from rushing down the EC and taking out there. Lastly, showing that these cheap light anti-tank mines can be useful to lay down, in time and just, scattered here and there. Good work by Siddolio. That might have actually saved his EC8. Might just have saved his EC8. So good work there. Prodigy's machine gun there, a bit sort of hanging about. They need a bit more carefully. On the west, we got the M42 as rifle and a 50 caliber. Quickly getting overwhelmed. StuG's getting repairs, and he's still not adding machine guns to them. And there you go, fat counterattack into the StuG with a lot of infantry support. He's not going to try and get wrong-footed here by Siddolio in any tanks. He can also soon go for another EC8. Or of course he might figure, with all the StuGs about he wants a tank destroyer, though the StuG could theoretically deal with that quickly as well. We're turning out in the open, but Prodigy here not using a lot of cover, though neither is Siddolio here. Not that there's a lot of cover here, neither side has prepared a lot of positions ahead of time. Still no machine gun for the StuGs. But he's really putting a lot of effort there, not really a lot there defending the west. And we can see the Siddolio shooting in around the centre. And then having seen the effectiveness of the first line to tank on either side, you know, he could do with more. He could do with a bunch more. In fact, he lays down one that more or less the same spot as the previous one. Very good. Well, there we can see he's just rolling hit the Stug again. And mortar on the way for Prodigy. You could definitely benefit from a mortar soon, but there you go, hitting the eastern resources again. Stug bombarding, mortar arriving, second Stug moving ahead as well. Still, no machine guns. There we go, we got a BAR drop rifle almost wiped out. He could be lost for Siddolio, and there we go. Full rifle squad white. That's going to hurt Siddolio and the 1st Armoured Division. Grenadiers reinforcing. Machine guns trying to make it harder to flank the other one. Very good. It could try and pop incendiary on his run for increased damage. It's not in the centre. Got Punish being hit. House collapses in the east there. We got a contact going in here from Siddolio to reclaim the eastern fuel. And there you go. Got the EC8 rolling in. Jackson almost done for Siddolio. Stug moving up, but on its own with no screen, this is pretty risky. Doesn't even have machine guns for it. Come on, Prodigy. Get some machine gun gewehren on your Stugs. Stugs like machine gun gewehren. In fact, there were even some models of the Stug. Well, actually, not models. It was just, you know, randomly. It seems like just some Stugs would have cracked some machine guns, usually sort of around here in the mantlet. Old and new models of the StuG, actually, though the later models of the StuG were actually more likely to have a cracked machine gun, which again all fits more with the role of assault gun and not just tank destroyers. Since, you know, tank destroyers were less expected to fight against infantry, whereas assault guns were. And now versus infantry, you actually do want machine guns, not just high close rounds, as a fun fact. Air recons here from Siddolio, good work. We can see in this that this pretty much tells him that the Stug is just on its own. Machine gun here would maybe help get a few extra hits. Stug there, seems something going on. But there you go, the Stug up against catching the Jacks, but again, running into the anti-tank mines. Stug is stalled. Need to fall back. Both got the Stug team threatening the flank. Pack 40 moving up, Stug almost taking out Condi's pushing it into Jackson here. Other Stugs being rolled back as well. Mortar fire there, forcing some of the men to fall back. It's out in the open. Pioneers almost wiped out. This is turning into a bit of a mess here for Prodigy. And this Pentagon is just seemingly forgotten inside the base here by Prodigy. What a shame. Bit of a close defense here though by Siddolio. Got a bit luckier that I think Prodigy didn't, you know, concentrate his armor force enough. There's actually another BA on the other side of the house there. And we got into the side calling in the machine gun. Stug almost 52. Other one just veteran to 1. And there you go. Stormtroopers finally in the move here for Prodigy once more. You could actually go for another one now. You can even go for a Panther 4 and Ostwind. I think a Panther 4 would be a pretty good choice for Prodigy. Would help those in the infantry. You could also use the Jackson and the Sherman. Need to retreat the Stormtroopers though. Oh, 9! 9! Prodigy. Don't lose the Stormtrooper. Ah, shiza, he did it, didn't he? He did it. What a waste of good Stormtroopers. What a waste. He might also want to get actually going for second Pioneer Squad to speed up the repairs of his armour. Just one Pioneer is going to be slow. And there we go. Panther 4 for Prodigy. For Deutschland. I think there's an attempt. No, just retreat. Might lose another unit here. That'd be a bit costly though for Prodigy. And he's still not upgrading the Stugs and machine guns. He's also flung quite a few munitions. He could lay down S-mines to turtle mines actually. That would be quite helpful here versus Siddolio. It would make it hard for him to just advance. Rather than pushing ahead here against the Grenadiers inside the house. A small block position there from Prodigy. If you just upgrade those Stugs machines, I mean, they're not even expensive, they're 30 munitions. And that's a rifle grenade, I think. Yup. Which is pretty cheap. And can have an impact then in infantry. Particularly if we've got two Stugs supporting each other. They can actually begin taking out some infantry, bleeding that slowly, but slowly. No machine guns in the Panther 4 either. That's definitely also feel a bit of a misstep there by Prodigy. In the west we got Lieutenant creeping ahead here. We got the EC8 moving about. We got a regular Sherman on the way for Siddolio. No, the EC8, and we got flares up. As Siddolio is basically doing some reconnaissance of the situation to try and figure out where he's going to attack and what to avoid. Good work by Siddolio. Reconnaissance is a very good thing to do. And it's not something a lot of players do, but it does help you further determine which engagements are correct for you. And there you go on the west, we've got a tank assault moving up here with infantry and tank destroyer support. As Prodigy once more hits the east. He's rather predictable in that way. And interesting enough, Siddolio's not trying to set up defenses for that. He's not even mining here, interestingly enough, as well. Nego he's hitting to the Pack 40. In fact, he did not lay down reconnaissance to go ahead of the attack, in which case he was probably prepared for the Pack 40 and lay down a smoke screen in advance. So that was a bit, I think, less well done there with Siddolio. And there goes Duke getting ready to against Jackson. Taken down to half health, but takes a return hit there. Panzer IV moving about. Still no machine guns on any of Prodigy's army. Got the Stuke moving ahead. He needs to be careful. Heavy damage there. Veteran 2 on the Stuke. Smoke popped as well. But here's a fun thing. While Stukes and other things would actually have smoke discharges or smoke candles, whatever, they would actually be discontinued as it turned out they had a tendency of catching on fire. Which only seemed to be a lot of the things the Germans added as countermeasures. Simmerate, smoke discharges, they just all seem to catch on fire. So a little fun fact there, little fun fact. All the way, lost the Panzer IV. Both the Stukes that I mentioned it too, but you know, he could still benefit from machine guns. He could also benefit a ton from laying down mines whenever he sees an opportunity. And another Pioneer squad would also be amazing here for Prodigy. Meanwhile, though, Siddolio keeping up good pressure again, and mines just, keep making things more awkward here for Prodigy. So that's really great. I mean, I think Siddolio is really the first American player seen really make use of those lines of tank mines. So it's quite good to see. It is quite good to see. Rifle grenade off, stunning up some of the troops, doing quite a bit of damage to the re-echelons. Setting up resource. I mean, he could go for an Tigris, but he should definitely then go for another Pioneer squad support here, and also just get the Stukes back in action fast, and of course get some machine guns. Also, that way with the Pioneers can then use all the extra munitions and then lay down munitions to the Tiger advances with the Stukes, clearing away territory, and then lay down mines so they can actually more easily hold the ground without having to expend so much manpower on it, because once the ace hits, Prodigy is going to be strapped for manpower. So he definitely should go for second Pioneer squad before calling in an ace, and he should definitely prepare for laying down mines. Though so far none of that is happening here for Prodigy. Except we just got the Stukes there being fixed up. And nothing else. And still no machine guns. Kind of machine gun there. The rest of the Grenadiers. Return moving up here. I'm making two Stukes firing at the lieutenant with machine guns, so you can actually have a good chance of doing some serious damage to it. And we got the Pioneers still doing a bit there. Doing a bit of AoE damage there, but nothing heavy. Got a kill there. Armor moving in there, go direct hit on the Stuke, need to fall back. Might also have to pop some smoke, just to be sure. So took the lieutenant overall down to half health. Again, I think two pinlock machines there could actually gotten a few more kills in there, but too late for that. Too late. Gonna take it down to get the Stuke finished. Ace is almost ready here for Prodigy though, and the second Panzer Division. Got double Jackson out here for Siddolio as well, having lost the tanks. He's not gonna mess about. He's just gonna go heavy on the tank destroyers here. The M36 Jacksons, which by the way actually based on the Sherman chassis. Ace out for Prodigy. Stuke's almost good to go. Still, only one Pioneer squad for Prodigy. Only one Pioneer squad. That is a bit risky here. But there you go. Stuke's moving out there. Für das Vaterland. Rather under fire. Tigris misses spectacularly. Stukes need to keep pace to here. And he's going to risk a damage injury. There you go. Great on the Jackson. Stukes moving in. There you go. Retreats. Rather than pulling through the centre. Could move anything to deal with them. Briefly sounded like a rough smoke grenade was actually popping a flare instead to transport out where Prodigy's actually positioning his arm. This is some really good play by Siddolio. I mean, using mines and flares, trying to gain small tactical advantages and edges here and there. But right now, of course, he has to be careful around the 8s, and that's also probably recently popped the flare to have a chance so he can just ambush them with the Jacksons. There goes Stu with head, taking hits from the bazookas. Armored guys, this could protect him. There go. Both Jacksons shoot. One hits, the other misses. There's 2 pioneers. Need to be careful there. He can't afford to lose them. There goes Stu, takes another hit here from the Jackson. Other one almost hits. He also uses HVAP rounds. Great. This is really one of the, I think, bigger mistakes a lot of American players make, which is they don't use the bloody HVAPs. But again, Siddolio here, clearly another breed of American player. Moving in, 1 Stug on his own, ace damage, Stug damaged. No infantry to screen away, nothing to help spot for the Stug. Flamethrower dropped, he could try and maybe snatch that away. There you go, another hit on the Tiger Ace with the Jackson using the HVAP rounds. Siddolio is lethal. And there goes Stug, hit, tries to hit there from the Jackson, need to fall back. Or do you treat the grenades? No, Prodigy keeps pushing, he pops a smoke screen just to try and sneak in another hit, but that's not going to work out. And again, with only 1 Pioneer squad now, it's going to take him ages to repair all of his armor, including his ace, in particular his ace. So he needs to go for more Pioneers now. Otherwise, Prodigy is, he might as well be collecting, door stops, because that's all these are going to achieve then if he's, going to take ages to repair them, and that's going to take several minutes. And with the ace out, that's going to be a lot of manpower just doing nothing for him, and that's not something Prodigy can afford. He does have lost the map power up most of the map right now, but again, if he just can't afford to expend a large chunk of his forces, which again involves 2 Stugs and an ace, it's going to be easy for Siddolio to get back on the map. So I think Siddolio here is approaching this correctly. He's not getting reckless versus the ace. He knows, unless he does something really stupid, or Prodigy turns out to suddenly be possessed by Rommel. Time is on his side, because again, as longer the fight goes on, the more resource Prodigy's going to be denied as long as the ace is on the field, whereas Siddolio gets more. So in many ways, he's also got victory points there. So if Siddolio just takes it calm, plays the long game, you should have a good chance of beating Prodigy. And again, unless something spectacular happens. In particular, because in this case, we know he's only got 1 Pioneer squad, which means it takes ages to get anything repaired. Another Sherman there for Siddolio. Got the ace rolling ahead, not fully repaired. Stug's hanging back, a wedding repairs. Pack being flanked here, Pioneer still moving about there. Needs to still go for more Pioneers, Prodigy. Pioneer, and there you go, direct hit on the Tiger Ace, down to half health. Pack 40 being rushed, Pioneers retreating, infantry force here around the core point getting obliterated. Panzerfaust on the Jackson, and the ace got a damaged engine as well. This is pretty bad for Prodigy. He moves ahead the ace. He might just realise he has to throw it away and just try and regain his manpower income. The problem is once that hits, the question is going to ace have done enough damage. Also, he's almost got 500 munitions. Come on, Prodigy. Mines, abilities, insane armor piercing rounds, target weak point, anything. In that regard, I do feel like Prodigy compared to Siddolio could definitely work to improve upon his ability game, because Siddolio's using HVAP rounds, mines, flares, and Prodigy is just nothing. Now, right now, again, Prodigy still remains strong in map control, but again, there's just this large amount of debt weight where Siddolio is not troubled by that. He's also getting 200 manpower per minute compared to less than 100 for Prodigy. So again, if we can just get some good hits here, some good wipes, he can effectively just crush Prodigy. Stug's being repaired, but again, he's only got 1 Pioneer squad. It's going to take him ages to get anything repaired. And get it all repaired all the time is going to be really difficult. Another fitting over there for Siddolio. Shan running in there, opening up. He could smoke here. The Pack 40 just to be short, but he's firing high explosive rounds, leaving the Jackson there to deal with the enemy armor. Not a bad idea at all. Lieutenant rushing in vehicles. Bazookas. One Stug moving ahead, straight into the Jacksons, into the bazookas. Several hits there. Ace being repaired still. Main gun is out. Grenades off. Pack 40 cleared out. Grenades almost arrived out here. Looking a bit worse for wear here for Prodigy. Stealing the Pack 40. Mortar spotted as well here. Jackson's moving in. Machine guns moving in. And the mortar got wiped. This is quickly turning very ugly here. And there goes Duke taking fire from the Jacksons. Grenadiers moving up here. Lieutenant needs to retreat. 50 caliber setting up there. At least should be setting on the right direction. There you go. Almost got this Duke here. The Ace is still stuck in a bad spot. Can't escape the tank destroyers. In fact, it's wide open. He could actually go in for it. There you go. Duke down. Ace is next. Prodigy here is getting absolutely clobbered. And there you go with this. Prodigy surrenders. A victory for Siddolio and the 1st Armored Division versus the 2nd Panzer Division. A nasty fight here with a lot of harassment, aggression, action, and tanks. And the Ace right here on Crossroads. A certainly nice battle here, and I think a great display of what the Americans can do when they actually get around to doing it. Flares, mines, abilities, flanks, good harassment overall. Very strong play there by Siddolio. Certainly putting some good pressure on the Prodigy. And Rod's Prodigy, of course, got the Stugs out. Once he hits to that spot, he was able to actually begin pushing back. But even then, there were some mistakes here and there. Lack of pioneers made it hard for him to keep the Stugs on the field for longer periods of time while he's getting them back there. Decreasing the off time. He could have gone for half checks, bunkers. And there's definitely also the mistake there of not laying down mines. Telemines, S-mines could have done huge things there for Prodigy. Also, lack of machine guns to the Stugs, for, say, decreased the chance of just getting some extra kills in here and there and slowing down Siddolio's advances. Plus, his infantry armor coordination was, I think, also on the weaker side. So there were some issues there for Prodigy as the fight went on there again. He was able to, make the late game, make some very impressive pushes against Siddolio, really pushing back. But again, had been able to, support himself properly. Probably could, I think, won this fight, but instead, it just didn't quite amount to anything. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay of your own, and some feedback in the comment section. If you'd like to send replay, links are there in the video description. Do provide details around the leaderboards, ranking. Don't just send me a replay with nothing else except, cast this. It's amazing. Everybody thinks the replay is amazing. You need to give me something more specific rather than, just what you think of it, because, everybody says that. And if you'd like to support me, donate or pledge on Patreon, there's also links to that in the video description. This is Imperial Linking. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. Bye.